entrepreneurship education in our Form 1. And as from this year, all schools in the other republic are having entrepreneurship education at Form 1 level. And by 2016, entrepreneurship education will be introduced in all classes of the lower secondary. So without any delay, I'm going to invite Mrs. Bura, Director Curriculum Development and Evaluation, to come and make an overview of the project that is entrepreneurship education. Mrs. Bura, please.
So, after the Triennium Government Program, all of you can read that in consultation with all stakeholders, the Ministry of Education has been mandated to introduce entrepreneurship study as part of secondary school curriculum. And this is what will happen as we go through the classes. So the rationale being, we talk a lot about 21st century skills these days, and all of you are very much aware of in creativity, diversity, communication, and collaboration skills. So I would like to stress over here that even myself, when we talk about entrepreneurship education, most of us have been thinking at first that maybe after following these courses or having a degree in there, we'll be able to set up an enterprise. This is only one of what of the achievements you can do after doing entrepreneurship. In fact, it is we are targeting all students, especially to inculcate the soft skills they acquire through this course. And then, as you are very much aware, that we have laid the foundation for employability, and then the convergence education. It's good idea due to the international facet of entrepreneurship education. So, most of the European countries, nearly all of them, have already integrated entrepreneurship education into the curriculum. Even in the African countries, I think as example here in Uganda, the intersection of entrepreneurship plus in the secondary schools, the students are able to identify a problem in the community, so it is very much close to them, and then subsequently start an enterprise. If you watch TV, last time I saw something over there where the kids have taken the waste and started doing sustainable development, so creating small enterprises, recycling stuff. So in some of the countries, like the USA, much more advanced, and entrepreneurship education has even reached the tertiary level at university. Now, you'll be happy to learn that during the November General Conference of UNESCO in Paris, National Minister Michael Marguerite has attended. Nearly all the heads of delegates, I can assure you, have had high on their agenda and in their addresses the issue of entrepreneurship education in the school system. And some of them have started or planning to start at primary level. So now we move to how we proceeded in Mauritius in our ministry. So it all started in early 2013. Honorable Minister has been talking a lot about that. And then I said, let us make it happen together with all our stakeholders over here, and the SMIE, and the education sector. So we started by writing material. Together we discussed this. We had a lot of discussions with MEDA, Ministry of Labour, SEC, and MIE, and yes, and material was written for Form 1. It was piloted in 17 schools, including one school from Ocean College, and 4 from its own private and state. Later you have a list of the 17 pilot schools. Then, as the material had already been sold, after feedback from schools, from students, from the educators, training sessions, workshops, the material for Form 1 was finalized during November, December holidays of 2013, and the books were sent to all schools because the subject was rolled out in all secondary schools in Mauritius and Rodrigues at Form 1 level at the beginning of the year.
That young people have got a lot of enterprising skills, and it is important that we start tapping and start helping them understand a little bit of what is there out there in the world that they could be doing, because today a child gets into Form 1, he is not necessarily aware of what exists out there, what he can be doing, and probably it is very important that at a very, very young age we start talking about him, about the opportunities that exist out there, and give him some basic skills to help him make up his mind afterwards. Even if a person doesn't go in for his own personal enterprise afterwards, but at least he's been initiated into what is entrepreneurship. And this issue of entrepreneurship is not necessarily, like you said, just building a business and starting it as soon as you finish school, but knowing into what goes into organizational skills, leadership skills, management, financial literacy, and all these type of things. So that a person, sometimes it happens that even you come back to your country after you finish your graduation, you've done your graduation, and then want to do something, some skills that you have learned at a very early age helps to trigger ideas of what you can do with the new knowledge you have had at the university. So the idea was that as early as possible to give them an amount of initiation into what is entrepreneurship, so that later on when the time comes, they will be in a better position, a better situation to make up their mind. And therefore, the entrepreneurship education mostly aims at helping people discover and develop their inner capacities to innovate. You know, all of us have got this ability, and then we should not dampen this ability, this creativity, and we should be able to help children discover that they can think, they can do, otherwise they can innovate, and therefore, and at the same time help them understand one important thing is that to succeed and to do better than others, we are living in a very competitive world. To do better than others, we should be able to tap on opportunities that exist, and at the same time should dare to do things differently. And people who succeed are people who during their life course have dared to do things differently. And therefore we try to develop as early as possible awareness of challenges and opportunities of entrepreneurship. Probably in terms of self-employment opportunities, because we know very well in Mauritius, unfortunately, we have for too long had the feeling that the moment I finish my education, I should be getting a comfortable job. But we know we are living in the 21st century where there is no job which lasts till you retire. There was a time when people used to say, I get a government job, I'm very happy now, I'm 16. So things have changed, the world has changed, the employment, the type of employment opportunities people are going to get, and most of the people who are going to work now will be changing jobs. They won't stay in the same jobs by the time they retire, and therefore we should understand it is more an uneasy situation for us, because we live in a comfortable job, but the people who have the drive and have been initiated into tapping into their own skills from an early age, probably will be in a better position to fit into the world which is coming. So therefore, for shaping potential, we have to help them discover what potential they have for shaping their own future.
We started at the ABS, we are a subject advisory committee. And it is the case for the introduction of new subjects. And the proposal that we had explored, in fact, concerns the IGCSE, which is the International General Certificate of Secondary Education qualification. It is not, in fact, the O-level qualification, but it is the equivalent at international level of the O-level qualification. Now, in the first slides, we can see a puzzle, which in the conceptual stage itself would mean that we want to have a syllabus where the whole would be more than the sum of the parts. That would be really as a challenge to us, meaning that beyond teaching entrepreneurship skills to Forms 4 and 5 students, through entrepreneurship we would develop desirable attributes for personal growth and contribution to economy and society. Now next is about perspective of such a syllabus. So we offer perspective for higher school, for university, for the world of work. It means that it wouldn't be the street, the employee street. It would be now maybe more and more the entrepreneur road, the entrepreneur boulevard. So this is when I started to think about what it should be like. Now this is an overview of a presentation. Why entrepreneurship for 14 and 16-year-olds, what it should be like. Then a presentation of a first proposal, the Cambridge proposal for IDCS. Some of the features of the syllabus, what is original about its assessment, meaning we make what is important become measurable in such a syllabus rather than testing what is easier to test. And there is a lot of support materials at CI for such a syllabus. This is a critical aspect in implementing such a syllabus. And we will also have a look at an alternative qualification which OCR has developed, which is Oxford, Cambridge and Royal Society Awards, which is not CIE, but both bodies fall under the Cambridge assessment nowadays. So why entrepreneurship? It's to integrate knowledge, skills and attitudes of entrepreneurs into the school curriculum at a critical age for students. And understanding what elements would be important and contribute to employability. So it would encourage innovation, social mobility, it would enhance employability, and would be indispensable to economic prosperity. To cater for entry to the world of work, earlier than the HSC, for example. It can solve, it has the potential to solve social problems and sustainability challenges. And also, if we propose it at 14, 16-year-olds as an extracurricular activity, many of the students might miss out on developing valuable skills which such a syllabus can offer. So what it should be like? We've been thinking about a few points, turning ideas into actions. This is what the IDCS proposal is about. Bringing, this is the main challenge, even to Cambridge, how you bring the real world, the world of business, the world of work into the classroom, and how you make it become important for adaptability of the students later on to the world of work. Now this syllabus seeks to address this. Soft skills we've seen earlier. Now the potential to contribute to the economy is also important. Now these are trends in 21st century syllabus,
which aims at developing the youth at all levels. So we work traditionally with Ministry of Education, NGOs, other stakeholders. So just to cut the story short, how we came to partner with the Ministry of Education, and particularly with Mrs. Bourassi. Build Your Business is an already existing curriculum, which is very adaptable to different audiences. We've launched with maybe general public or also through NGOs. And in this particular case, we adapted the curriculum for 15-year-olds and also taking into account one main challenge, which is, I would say, getting a 40-hour course into, a 15-hour course. So what is Build Your Business? So it's a blended curriculum where we target existing and future entrepreneurs, in this particular case, students. The main objective, so this is about launching, sustaining their businesses, but also into the schools and into the classroom. It's facilitating, and that's where we come into the picture and how we contributed to the project with the ministry is through the training of trainers model. So we have, I will introduce Mr. Bruno Humet, who is a master Build Your Business trainer, and he came during these two dates, February and April, to have this TOT for educators who would be them in the field to deliver to students. So this is a worldwide initiative, and also from a regional perspective from Microsoft, you have different stakeholders, so very much into diverse competencies, University of Stellenbosch, Manpower, NAVIS, and one of the main partners, which is International Youth Foundation. So this is part of the program under Youth Sport and the citizenship program.
14 different modules, and we give a CD to each participant. I'm talking about the BYV for entrepreneur. I'm going to talk later about the adaptation to secondary schools. So it's, in fact, it's more than 45 hours. It's 45 hours in class, plus 30 hours self-study. So it means the participant must have an idea of how to use a computer. And there's also guided hands-on activities outside the classroom. The 14 modules start from shaping your destiny, talking about what's your big idea, because to be an entrepreneur you need to have an idea. But the thing is, we tell people, attention, your big idea, is it really going to work? And the idea is to take through each module, talk about market survey, talk about selling, marketing, doing your business plan, and at the end, really at the end, the participant would have really mastered all the aspects of what's entrepreneurship. Now, I'm going to ask you to watch, because we've been talking about entrepreneurs, but do you really all understand what is an entrepreneur? And are you maybe you've got all in you the wish to become an entrepreneur?
Also going into my formal speech, which has been written, I've really found the presentation so far incredibly exciting. It's almost giving me itchy feet and wishing I'd done something different with my life so far, and it's not too late. So I don't think it's too late for any of us. The funny story is I'm a mega fan of Dragon's Den, and I have two daughters, one of them is an 8-year-old. So 8-year-old Kiara is also a very big fan of Dragon's Den. I mean, she's focused on it all the time, and it got to a point where she became passionate around something called loom bands, which is using small elastic bands with a loom to create wristbands and things like this. So she was crazy on this, and it got to a point where I was encouraging her, and she started bartering with children at school. So it was, I'll swap my loom band for marbles. And that's fine, I felt comfortable with that, but then I was a little bit concerned when I came back from a business trip, and I learned that from my wife that Kiara had actually started to sell the loom bands in school. It was okay, 20, 50 rupees. Well, sorry, I won't say in school, but she started to sell it with friends. And then she actually went for a mega project, her big idea, which was to manufacture a small little purse. And whenever I heard that she was trying to charge 500 rupees for it, we were like, no, we need to speak to this lady's, this young girl's parents. So anyway, just to show you that entrepreneurial spirit is there from a very, very early age, and I think I certainly try to encourage it with my children as well. So many of you may be asking the question, why would a technology company be investing time and energy into the training of young people in entrepreneurship? And in fact, as you all know, as from 2008, financial crisis hit the global world in a big way, and that caused a lot of losses in many countries. I would say in Mauritius it was less so, but it was still very, very evident that unemployment in youth remains a clear pain point. Last year, Microsoft actually had commissioned the Boston Consulting Group, so BCG, to do an economic impact report based on a global research project entitled Ahead of the Curve, Lessons on Technology and Growth from Small Business Leaders. The study actually covered 4,000 SMEs with two main markets, a primary market of 5 countries and a secondary market of 19 countries. And actually the study confirmed that SMEs represent up to 75% of all jobs in some economies. The BCG estimates that if more SMEs employed the full range of available IT tools, including basic productivity software, internet connectivity, the new cloud services that we're hearing about, SME revenue growth could be a combined $770 billion in just the US, Germany, China, Brazil, and India, in those 5 primary countries. And these same SMEs could actually contribute to a further 6.2 million jobs. But at the same time, the research actually revealed that because the adoption of IT is uneven across the world due to SMEs' different availability of access to broadband connectivity networks and the lack of skills associated, a lot of SMEs were not taking the most out of what IT can provide to them. So there is an opportunity therefore for policymakers and the IT industry to implement strategies to look at how we remove barriers in terms of IT adoption by addressing the top concerns that is being expressed by small businesses. So based on those barriers, the survey respondents actually identified a number of public policies that would help more SMEs to access advanced technology. And one of those key ones was actually skills development for young entrepreneurs and SMEs. This is clearly a big priority for Microsoft, and as part of our corporate citizenship activities in Mauritius and in the region through our For Africa initiative, which is Microsoft's biggest investment outside of China, is actually focused in Africa under a scheme called For Africa. So if we're here today, it's clearly because skills development for young entrepreneurs is a priority for us, and we share that with the Ministry of Education in Mauritius. It was therefore very natural for us to partner with the Ministry to provide entrepreneurship training for tomorrow's entrepreneurs. Microsoft and the Ministry of Education have a very long and strong relationship ever since we opened our office in 1998 in Mauritius. And since 2008, our collaboration has been formalized through the signature of a memorandum of understanding, which we refer to as the Partners in Learning program. And through this program, we've trained more than 600 teachers, trained over 60 head of schools, and more than 250 teachers have participated in the local Partners in Learning forum. And every year we have the opportunity for those local winners to get the opportunity to participate regionally in that competition, where they have an opportunity to share their experiences about how they use technology in the classroom. So I'm really happy to share with you that we're currently working with the Ministry of Education to look at how we can tweak that existing agreement, and we're looking to hopefully finalize something in the very short future.
Speeches, written speeches. I don't know what else remains for me to tell you. But I have to try. Innovation. First of all, to express my deep appreciation to all parties involved in bringing this training program for educators to a successful conclusion. Thanks to this program, I believe all educators exposed to it will have their skills sharpened, such that the 15-hour course module of entrepreneurship education initiation for lower 6 students become a major milestone in secondary. Let me state very honestly that today's ceremony transforms one of my strongest dreams for the student community coming into a reality. I must at the outset have a special word of welcome and appreciation to the team from Microsoft who made this training program a reality. Thank you for being by our side at this crucial moment of change and innovation in the formal curriculum. We have had the opportunity of following the PowerPoint presentation led by Mrs. Gura, Director of Curriculum, on the current status of the entrepreneurship education in schools. And we have also seen the other presentations, I think, very clear for all of those who want to understand what is happening in this domain, in the education sector in Mauritius. And as importantly, we have been taken therefore through the several steps, culminating in its introduction in the curriculum at lower 6 and at lower and upper secondary levels. Allow me today to go deeper into the rationale that motivated me to anchor entrepreneurship education in our system. Ladies and gentlemen, we have since long operated along the principle that education is a basic right. This is clearly reflected in our advocacy for a policy based on equity, inclusiveness, and non-discrimination in opportunity provision for all. Free and compulsory schooling and free student transportation, access to quality education, the accelerated digitization of teaching and learning, these are only a sample of the enabling policies translated into action. But in addition to being a human right, education is also an imperative on two basic fronts. The first imperative is the social one. Unless there is high degree of social empowerment, national development is likely to be severely constrained. And education is globally reckoned as one of the key drivers, if not the key driver, of sustained social development. The second imperative is the economic one. Today, our societies operate as part of a global setup. As the realm of knowledge expands beyond national frontiers, we intensely realize the danger of remaining mired in traditional economic thinking. Today we speak of new skills for new jobs, since we do not know what tomorrow's new jobs will be like. What are needed today are individuals capable of having transferable and flexible skills who are adaptable, trainable, and therefore employable. So, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, if education is an imperative on both social and economic fronts, entrepreneurship education is the answer to both of these imperatives. The quality it evinces result in learners engaging themselves intellectually, professionally, and socially, and thus making a difference to their adult environment as they grow up. Inherent to entrepreneurship education are the new ways of thinking, collaborative learning, creativity, and the ability to evolve from idea to reality. This is why it is important for all of our students to be exposed to it, and not merely those studying economics and business studies. The skills developed are, in fact, nothing less than life skills, as we have been seeing and hearing since the beginning. Let me stress that giving pride of place to entrepreneurship education is a global trend. This also we have heard. And allow me this extensive quote from a November 2012 European Commission document called Rethinking Education, Investing in Skills for Better Socio-Economic Outcomes. And I quote, member states should foster entrepreneurial skills through new and creative ways of teaching and learning from primary school onwards, alongside a focus from secondary to higher education on the opportunity of business creation as a career destination. Real-world experience through problem-based learning and enterprise links should be embedded across all disciplines and tailored to all levels of education. And the hugely significant sentence that follows is this one, I continue to quote: all young people should benefit from at least one practical entrepreneurial experience before leaving compulsory education. Ladies and gentlemen, it goes without saying that if we want this life skill to be successfully embedded in the minds of our school-going youth, our teachers, all of them, have also to be properly trained for that. And I have time and again highlighted the trust that I systematically place in teachers for the realization of our educational goals. Most teachers today rise up to the challenge. In fact, most always they have. And let's face it, Mauritius would not have earned international kudos and its place in the community of nations if the level of education provided had been below par. So we need to show our appreciation for the teachers. Thank you, all of you teachers, educators, present here today especially, for taking up this new challenge of facilitating the entrepreneurial skills into our students. But it is equally true that we want all our teachers to change as well. In the context of new challenges and new demands, I wish them to be in a position to say, before I was an educator, and now I am an educator with a mission. This is why my ministry ensures there is enough of pedagogical handholding carried out initially by the MI for all the new projects embarked upon, including that of entrepreneurship education. I would even go to the extent of saying that the innovative pedagogical approaches related to entrepreneurship education should, in fact, be spread across all teacher training programs for the different domains and subject areas. Indeed, this is already happening in countries like Denmark, for example. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, I must say that I am genuinely gratified by the support provided by Microsoft to the several initiatives of my ministry. We are all conversant with the partners in learning program and the Education Global Forum, in which Mauritian innovativeness is celebrated and rewarded. On the other hand, the PIL, pricing of Microsoft licenses, has now been extended to all schools registered under the PSSA as well as to fee-paying schools. And I'm happy to state that a new PIL agreement is currently being fine-tuned in order to extend possibilities of collaboration between both Microsoft and my ministry. And I know I can rely upon the powerful partner for the improved digitization of the educational system in Mauritius. I must also congratulate the MI, the NES, the NPCC, the HRDC for actively placing their expertise at the service of the Microsoft resource team in the elaboration of this training program. Let me end here by once again congratulating all of you educators who have been regular and committed to following the training program. You are not only part of my pride today, but more importantly, you are making history in education by being the pioneers of entrepreneurship education in our upper secondary school system. I wish you well and very well. Thank you very much for your attention.